final hour of RWL Memphis Million 2025, and we're back with two more blockbuster matches in the final hour. This fourth hour block will feature the men's Memphis Million Battle Royal at the very end.
Now before that gets going, up next, the RWL Women's International title at stake with Madam Snooze, Dione the Titaness, defending the title against, get this now, Titaness Storm. This one, according to Mr. Schimmelman here, was a last-minute quickly brokered deal with the Italian Testarossa, willing to put the title on the line in an outlandish best-of-3 falls match with no countouts.
And once again, it's Toni Storm who came looking, not for a championship, just for a chance to wrestle Dione.
And the ask from Timeless Toni Storm was just, it was. Well, I think it's best if y'all just see this wild mess for yourselves. So roll the clip if you would please.
Dione the Titaness, I watched your last match against that flibbity-gibbet Ronda Rousey. I wanted to have a look at you for myself, to see if you are as great as tales say, because I did not believe them. And then I saw you, and I said, my God, I have got to break myself off a piece of that. You are named for the mother of Aphrodite in Greek mythology, and it is appropriate. Dione, you are a magnificent, pagan, beast, and I must experience you for myself. Any, and darling I do mean any, kind of match you want. Belts be damned, Dione, I don't care about 'em. I just want you, and me, in that ring, getting down, and dirty for wrestling posterity. Make the deal. Do it for us, darling.
You know what, I think, Toni Storm? That you are very talented? But also, you got some loose pieces in your head. You gotta get help. But that's okay. You want to play glamour, I play glamour Italian style with you. 2 out of 3 falls, so you get some extra time for the experience. And no countouts outside the ring. That get you all excited? And I put the women's international belt up too. Not because you don't care, just because I would like to end my year with just one more win. And I know you could not beat me if you were 2 Toni Storms. Sanu time in Memphis. You like that? I know you do. Siku woman.
And so tonight, before the Memphis Million Battle Royal, a bonus matchup. The Women's International Champion on the line, Timeless Toni Storm versus Dione the Titaness.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next special ladies attraction, 2 out of 3 falls, no countouts, and a 20-minute time limit, is for the RWL Women's International Championship.
The Timeless one, never without a surprise up her sleeve, sporting herself a brand new outfit for this match with Dione the Titaness for the Women's International title. And Dione is pretty confident she's got this one in the bag. Wonder if Toni is up for the excitement for real. She's already done a best-of-3 falls match against Mercedes Moné over the summer, picking up the win over the windbag. But this is a whole nother deal.
Dione ain't lying though. Toni got something wrong in the upstairs. I mean, did she really purse her lips to call Dione a magnificent pagan beast? What goes on in that brain of hers though? She seriously got no problem letting her freak flag fly.
Which is why I think this match between the Timeless one and Madam Snoo is gonna be a fantastic payoff. I don't care who wins, it's probably gonna be Dione, but what a way to find it out. Well, there you see it right there, folks. It is snoo time. The Women's International Champion, the Bride of Hercules, Dione the Titaness, on her way down with the Women's International Championship. And she is taking this one all in stride, sort of. She's having a good time with it. But underlying that, I get a sense that Dione wants to teach Timeless Toni Storm a lesson. Gone not for nothing, but Tex has been gone congratulating Danielle for some time now. I hope he does. I hope he makes it back. I hope we don't have to cover the match. I wouldn't worry. I think Tex will be back just in time, as usual. But while we are waiting, what a matchup. Best of 3 falls, a 20-minute time limit, and no countouts outside the ring.
Introducing first the challenger from the Gold Coast of Australia. She is Title-Toni Storm. And her opponent from Milan, Italy, standing 6 feet 5 inches, weighing 265 pounds, Dione the Titaness.
Alright, you guys, quit looking around all nervous. I made it back. Let's get this thing done now.
Well, I think Dione put the belt on the line as a ruse, sort of bait, to get Toni Storm in there, along with that friendly invitation, couched with a subtle threat.
Friendly. Friendly with a hatchet behind her back. Oh, man, this is going to be good. 2 out of 3 falls, 20-minute time limit, no countouts outside the ring. Oh, here we go. Okay. Walt Rothburn brings the bell, and off we go. Dione spins Toni Storm around with the right. Toni Storm counters with an elbow. Dione with a left, a right, and a boot to the face takes Toni Storm down pretty quick. The Italian Testarossa up on the top turnbuckle. Elbow drop right across the chest, and here's our first pin. 1, 2. Near fall that early. Well, doesn't bode well for Toni Storm, does it? Dione the Titaness is frosty. Yeah, she knew what she was doing picking this one. But right to the head of Toni Storm. Drives a knee into the head of Toni Storm. The timeless one catches another elbow to the chest. And you see her legs lay out like that. Wow. Dione puts the boot to the arm of the timeless one. Comes off the ropes. Big time cross-body splash. Timeless Toni Storm having a rough go in the first minute. She counters, gets Dione into the corner though. And now gouging the face of Dione the Titaness. Now, by any means necessary is the only way you're going to be able to take her down at all. Toni Storm takes her down to the canvas. There's a stomp to the head, and Toni Storm finally turning things around here for herself. Okay, she's playing games with Dione, and that's probably not a good idea. Well, she's stalking her, turns her around, draws a knee into the head. There's a clothesline, a BFT to Dione the Titaness from timeless Toni Storm, and she is just drinking in the atmosphere. There's a stomp to the back. Dione the Titaness. Now she's the one on the receiving end of the business as Toni Storm puts the boots to the hands and fingers of the Italian Testarossa. Dione catches a Hurricane Rana, and a big one from Toni Storm. The timeless one quickly countered by Dione. Toni Storm counters Dione. Drop toe hold takes her down. And into a leg stretch. Dione turns it around with a couple of shots to the head. Gets herself turned loose. Back up on her feet. Locks it up with Toni Storm. Whips her to the ropes. Ducks under. And here she... Ooh! What a spine buster. Dione off the ropes again. Another cross-body splash, crushing the air out of timeless Toni Storm. A stomp to the arm again. Another stomp. Dione putting those great big old boots. The timeless Toni Storm follows that up with an arm snap. Follows that up with a stomp. I wonder how Toni Storm is enjoying the experience and sharing the energy. She looks pretty hurt. Dione with just kind of looking at her and this does not look good for timeless Toni Storm. Dione locks in a heel hook stretch. Timeless Toni Storm gets pinned here. 1, 2. Another near fall for the Big D. Dione rounds her up. Gut wrench suplex. Dione on the apron, takes herself to the top turnbuckle. Timeless Toni Storm up to a stand position. Counters, but doesn't quite make it. Goes behind on Dione, rear waist lock. Whips the Titaness to the ropes. Another drop toe hold just about center ring. Timeless Toni Storm with the advantage here. Oh, man. Just brained Dione with a shot. And did it again. Okay, now it's getting personal. Timeless Toni Storm doing a little showing out here. Dione trying to get back to a standing position. Gets taken right back down to the mat again. Dione rocks her up, has her up over the shoulder. Toni Storm counters it into a DDT. Dione the Titaness looking like she's having a little bit of trouble here. And now Toni Storm whips her to the corner. Big old butt splash. Down goes Dione into a seated position. Toni Storm gets her by the ankles. Alley-oops her out of the corner. Covers and hooks the leg. 1, 2. Again, no. First near fall for Toni Storm, though. 2 out of 3 falls here. Toni Storm charges. Drives Dione out to the floor with a knee. Oh, man. Toni Storm slides out. Going after Dione. Rounds her back up. Gets a hold of her. Takes her down again. Dione the Titaness. We've been having her problems for the last couple of minutes now. Toni Storm has been in control of this match. Slams Dione's head down to the canvas. The Italian Testarossa rounded up. There is no count out. So the referee is not counting. Which is why you have not heard me say the referee is counting. Toni Storm escorts Dione back inside the ring. Makes her own way inside. And Dione is rounded back up again. The Timeless One. Flips her right back into the far right corner. Dione counters with an elbow. Gets a hold of Toni Storm. Up over the shoulders. Walked over to the opposing corner. And boom, snake eyes. Head first into the turnbuckle. Down goes the Timeless One. Dione rounds her up by the throat. Takes a couple of steps with her. Tags her with a backbreaker. Takes another couple of steps, and there's another one. Dione covers and hooks the leg here. 1, 2. Well, there's our first fall, folks. 1 more to go, and she's done. Unless Toni Storm picks up one. Oh, another gut wrench suplex from Dione the Titaness to Toni Storm. It doesn't look like she's enjoying the experience all that much. There's a stomp. A rebound off the ropes. Another cross-body splash. I wonder how much of a magnificent pagan beast she thinks she is now. Man, Toni Storm has laid out. Dione's over here doing some posing. Oh, wow. Toni Storm is all messed up. Knee to the skull from the Italian Testarossa. Gets her by the wrists and ankles, drags her towards center ring. Another bounce off the ropes. Misses that crossbody splash that time. Toni Storm had taken that one too many times. Must have figured out the rhythm or something. Dione whipped to the far right corner. Toni Storm with a chop across the chest. Dione counters with an elbow, gets a hold of her. Toni Storm escorted to the opposing corner, head first into the turnbuckle. Goes Timeless Toni Storm, gets a boot to the chest from Dione. And upset, just beating her feet on the Mississippi mud. And just, I think he just stamped her out. 1, 2, 3. The Italian Testarossa stamping Timeless Toni Storm into the canvas. 2 out of 3 falls for the win.
The time was 7 minutes and 39 seconds. Here's your winner and still Women's International Champion, Dione the Titaness.
Not for nothing, but I think Toni Storm is going to check in with the doctor after this match. Dione was pretty rough on her. She was most definitely very, very rough with Timeless Toni Storm. There were several moments where she was absolutely helpless. Yep, and the Big D retains the Women's International Championship. The Bride of Hercules does it again. We'll be right back with the Memphis Million Battle Royal in just a moment.